Good morning and welcome to our first maths tutorial, and this, let's be clear, is the most important clip that many of you will deal with, because what's happening is you all understand the physics, you're all getting to the second last line, and then many of you are making simple algebraic errors going from the second last line to the last line. Why are you doing that? Because you've learned shortcuts in rearranging linear equations. You don't really understand the shortcuts. They work fine for whole numbers, but when you get into complicated stuff, it collapses. So we're going to relearn linear algebra, and then we're going to see how it operates in these slightly more difficult questions. So we're ready to roll. Now, so let's take a simple linear equation from first year. Okay, so 2x plus 4 equals 10. Now, this is how you should do it, okay? It's an equation. What an equation means is the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. To keep it equal, you have, if you do something to the left-hand side, you must do the same thing to the right-hand side, okay? That's the bottom line, okay? So let's take this scenario. I want x on its own. To get x on its own, I need to remove that 4, okay? Now that 4 is adding to the x. So what I need to do is to remove the 4 on the left, okay, I need to do the opposite of adding 4, which is of course subtracting 4. If I do that to the left, I must do the same thing to the right, subtracting 4, okay? These now cancel, and I end up with 2x equals 6, right? Perfectly logical. No rules, no tricks. Now, I want x, but at the moment I have 2 multiplied by x. What's the opposite of multiplying, or the inverse of multiplying? Dividing. So what I do is, on the left hand side, I'm going to divide by 2. But whatever I do on the left hand side, I have to do the same on the right hand side because it's an equation. Okay, so I divide the right hand side also by 2. Okay, these cancel, and I get x equals 3. Now, that's the correct way of solving a linear equation. None of us do it like that because, we just don't, okay? We use shortcuts. Let's look at how we do the shortcuts, okay? And the shortcuts work fine until we get funny numbers, okay? So the shortcut that we do is, okay, the same equation, 2x plus 4 equals 10. That's fine, okay? And what we say is, the plus 4, because it's adding, it goes across the equal to sign and it changes to minus 4. Okay, this works fine. Makes no sense, but it works fine, okay? And we get 2x equals 6. What we're actually doing is this, okay? We're saying over here, subtract 4 from both sides, but the 4 minus 4 cancels, so I just get to minus 4. Can you see? So I've no problem with you doing the shortcut as long as you understand what you're doing, okay? And that's what's going to be fierce important in a minute. Okay, and the same applies then in the next one, which is the really frightening one. Okay, I'm multiplying by 2, so bring across and divide. Why? Okay, sure, why not? Okay, and we end up with x equals 3. Okay, of course what you're doing is you're dividing up both sides by 2, and you're getting your x equal to 3. Now, it's worth looking at that a couple of times if you're not too sure, okay? I've no problem with you doing it that way, okay, as long as you understand of this way, okay? So if you're not certain, go back and re-watch. Now, having done that, and if you're happy with that, we're going to go and do a one with funny numbers, okay, on both sides and see how it works, okay? So here's a question. Here's a question that we the end of which was on one of your assignment 2. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on both sides. Okay, I have to tighten up a little bit. So 6.63 by 10 to the minus 19 equals 3.66 by 10 to the minus 19 plus 4.55 by 10 to the minus 31 v squared. And I'm going to do the same on the right hand side there now in a minute. Okay, right. Now, okay, so going from first principles, doing it the proper way. Okay, the problem I have here is that this number is adding to the v squared. I want v squared on its own, so I'm going to have to subtract both sides by that. Okay, so 6.63 by 10 to the minus 19 equals 3.66 by 10 to the minus 19. I'm going to put into 2 subtractions, so 3.66 by 10 to the minus 19, 3.66 by 10 to the minus 19, plus 4.55 by 10 to the minus 31 v squared. They cancel, Okay, and we end up with, okay, so I have it here, 2.97. We subtract the two of these, I get 2.97 by 10 to the minus 19 equals 4.55 by 10 to the minus 31 v squared, right? Now I want 1 v squared, not this, so I have to divide both sides by this number. Okay, so I divide both sides by that number, 4.55 by 10 to the minus 31, 4.55 by 10 to the minus 31, because the opposite of multiplying is dividing, they cancel, so I get v squared, and I work that out, and I get 6.53 by 10 to the power of 11, and then at the end we get the square root of that, and we ended up with 8.08 by 10 to the power of 5 meters per second equals v. Okay, what a lot of you are doing was we're bringing this across and dividing it. Okay, so let's look over here. We're going to do it by the shortcut method. Okay, so we had 6.63 by 10 to the minus 19 equals 3.66 by 10 to the minus 19 plus 4.55 on v squared. I have no problem with you doing it this way. Okay, so I'm going to have to kind of break my rule regarding the equal to, just for room, 6.63 by 10 to the minus 19 minus, this is adding, so it goes across as minus 3.66 by 10 to the minus 19 equals 4.55 by 10 to the minus 31 v squared. Subtract those, get 2.97 by 10 to the minus 19 equals 4.55 by 10 to the minus 31 v squared. That's multiplying the v squared, so it goes across as dividing by our rule, by our tricks. Apologies. And I end up with okay. And I have the same answer. Okay. Right. Now, do you get it? Okay. I've no problem with you doing it that way, as long as you understand what you're doing. Okay. If you're not clear, do it this way. Nothing wrong with doing it that way. Okay, because that makes more sense. If you think about it, that makes more sense. Okay. But if you think in real world as well, okay, let's think of what this means, okay, regarding photoelectric effect. Okay. That was the energy of the photon. That was the work function. Now, what we were interested in, the kinetic energy, which was this, was the energy left over. So it should make sense, okay, forgetting about the maths, which should make sense that the energy of the photon minus the energy, the work function, would have been the kinetic energy, not divided. Okay, so think about it as well, like okay, there's maths involved, and we don't want to make an error in the maths rules, but there's also physics involved, okay, and physics involved in that stage. And remember, when you get answers down at the bottom which are mad, you know you're wrong, and you go back and check them. All right, now this is a real one. Go back and check and check and check. If you don't still get this, you need to message me, and we'll go through it. We'll go through it again, because this is unreal. Okay, this really will catch people out and lose loads of marks. You all understand the physics. You all get to fill in the right formula, and you're getting the wrong answer because of the maths.